I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's talk about the Plankton movie. If you know anything about me, my sense of humor and personality revolves around SpongeBob. And the very first SpongeBob movie was a cinematic breakthrough. It was amazing. It was brilliant. It was timeless. And it still withstood the test of time, especially those first 4 seasons of SpongeBob is some of the best writing ever. There was a serious dip of quality of SpongeBob over the years, and it's fluctuated up and down. And there have been several movies. Sponge Out of Water, which I thought was a solid movie, but it was more of an extended episode for me. Sponge on the Run, on the other hand, was just a shameless plug-in for that nonsensical Camp Coral thing, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it was a decent watch for the most part. I didn't even really watch the Sandy Cheeks movie. I might need to check it out just so I can do a ranking on it, but I've heard really bad things about it. And I was going into this movie, the Plankton movie, expecting the same situation, and I only ended up watching it really because my son was watching it and we kind of restarted it and watched it together. And I have to say, Plankton the movie is probably the best SpongeBob movie since the very first one. I don't think it hits the high highs of the very first SpongeBob movie, but it's a big improvement over Sponge Out of Water. I don't know how I feel about the animation of the new direction that SpongeBob is kind of going with these movies, but I don't hate it. I think it's very creative, it's expressive, it's colorful, it's vibrant. It just doesn't have the charm of the hand-drawn. One thing I appreciate about this movie, though, is that it experiments with different art styles, just kind of like how SpongeBob kind of used to, even more so here than they've ever done before, where they're telling Plankton's backstory. And yes, this is a Plankton-centric story, and I wasn't sure exactly what they were going to do with it because I was like, Plankton's a evil character. There's not a real way to redeem him in any sense, and there's not really anything you can do to expand his character and lore. However, to my surprise, they did it, and what they did was keep true to Plankton and just double down on everything Plankton stands for, and that made it just so much better. The cast of characters is kind of small. It really does explore the dynamics of Plankton and Karen, and I really liked seeing Karen be expanded upon more, and you get to see her backstory and her development as a character as well. She's kind of the emotional core of the film. SpongeBob is in this movie, but he plays a side character to Plankton's main lead as a psychiatrist-esque thing that he does in here. And it's funny and it's timeless, but I think something's off with his voice a little bit. And then it's also a musical, and some of the musical numbers are pretty solid. I'm not going to say these are like memorable classic musics, but for the movie, they're fun and zany, and they do a lot of creative things with the animation, like I said. But yes, the heart and soul of the film is the relationship between Plankton and Karen, and it's just explored in an interesting and fun way that's comedic, charming, and sometimes kind of endearing. There are some retcons that kind of change the past of certain established things that happened in SpongeBob in the past, especially between Mr. Krabs and Plankton, which kind of bothered me. But overall, I think this is a fun, engaging experience, and if more SpongeBob movies are like this, I am looking forward to more SpongeBob movies. It's not a perfect movie, but it's an enjoyable watch, especially for those that are SpongeBob fans. There are moments that kind of do throwbacks to classic SpongeBob jokes. Yes, there are some cringy ones here too, and the pacing can be a little off, but overall the experience is fun.